Extend a very warm welcome to our BES team. And to start with, let me take this opportunity to extend a very warm welcome to OK Sharma ji, who is the president of BES. Welcome, sir. Shri P.K. Singh, our honorary secretary. A very warm welcome, sir. Shri R.C. Bhatnagar, honorary secretary of Broadcast Engineering Society, India. You're very warm welcome, sir. Last but not the least, and very importantly, it's quite gratifying to look around and see such a strong strength of audience present here. So indeed, it is definitely reassuring to know that this year too will turn out to be a very successful BES Expo 2016. So very round of applause for you all. And let's just welcome, just like the way we welcomed our dignitaries and panelists. Very warm welcome to everyone who's gracing this occasion. On behalf of the entire team of the Broadcast Engineering Society India, I will now request our President of Broadcast Engineering Society India, Shri OK Sharma ji, to welcome our Honorable Chief Guest, our Minister, Colonel Rajyavardhan Singh Rathore ji, by presenting a flower bouquet. Thank you, sir, for gracing the occasion. May I now request Shri I. George, Vice President, BES India, to extend a hearty welcome to our guest of honor, Shri J.S. Mathur.
DVB-T2 and DVB-T2 Lite. One is for fixed reception and second one is for mobile reception. Doordarshan also is trying to get into this field and have established and installed many transmitters and are under test transmissions. The third one is the new platform is social media. Last year's the BS theme was social media, and we received a very warmful reception from the audience and delegates. The fastest way to communicate and beyond limitations of distance. Gone are days when one network was producing and all were watching or listening. Now it is the time of interactive and content producers by consumer itself. The next one is broadband and smartphones. Internet users are already consuming and using a variety of social media platforms, which has changed the way organizations, communities and people talk to each other. It has also changed the way business and various organizations connect with their customers and clients. These scenarios further to be changed and exciting with Government of India plan to go digital or increase penetration of the broadband in rural areas. This will also be deliberated here in conference sessions. The next one is DTH platform, which is very popular nowadays, and even many operators are having more than 400 channels, and Doordarshan has also enhanced its capacity in DTH field and likely to further enhance in the forthcoming years. The experience of HD, 3D, UHD, 4K have revolutionized and redefined the way we experience the old TV. The next one in radio field is DRM and FM transmissions. AIR has installed many DRM transmitters which are operating now. The questionage of receivers, I think the one demonstration has been made outside of this hotel, and FMization has taken place in country through private operators, and in coming future it is also likely to be driven in more and more options. The last one is the archiving field. Archiving old content to digital mode is challenged for all broadcasters, particularly to the public service broadcasters, having large number of legacy content. All the old legacy tapes have to be converted to file format. Its monetization, marketing and sharing through web portal is a big task. The IPR issue related with the old content is another challenge. We have to search out a common acceptable solution for this. Finally, I am sure that during the conference sessions, the delegates will have ample opportunity to listen and interact with the eminent speakers on varied topics such as moving towards multiple platforms, social media, broadcasting, DTT, DRM, future of TV, 4K and beyond OTT. studio production innovation, etc. Eminent broadcasters and media industry professionals from India and abroad will speak on different issues of broadcasting in the 3-day conference spread all over 7 sessions. Reputed broadcast equipment manufacturers, companies, broadcast professionals, and service providers from all over the world are displaying their latest product, technologies, and services in the international exhibition. At this conference, the visiting companies and manufacturers may explore the way to collaborate under the Make in India program of this country. With the collective efforts of the organizers, exhibitors, delegates, and dignitaries, I hope this would be a most invigorating experience for all of us. I once again welcome to all of you to this mega broadcast event. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for addressing the audience. May I now request our keynote speaker, Dr. Peter Sebbert, to address the audience and deliver his keynote address. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the keynote speaker, Dr. Peter Sebbert.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Once upon a time, and this time is not so long ago, television was easy. We had one TV device in the living room. It was the only device which gave us TV, which gave us entertainment and information. It brought the families together. It was basically the core of the home. And these times are not so long ago. Can somebody help me with the... How do I do the page down? How do you do it? Okay, thank you. Okay, so I stopped pointing out that once upon a time life was easy, but then there are changes. And one of the changes is that we have now new devices, and I think most of you will own one of the smartphones or tablets which I'm presenting here. And it's not only new devices, it's also new services, OTT services like Netflix and YouTube, just to mention the most well-known ones. And sometimes the question comes up, is this the end of television as we know it? Or there are even voices which say this is the end of television as we know it. So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Peter Siebert, and I'm the director of the DVB project office. And first of all, I'm very thankful to the BES organization to invite me to this prestigious event. I also would welcome all the dignitaries in the room, and I'm very proud that you're listening to my presentation. So, before I go into the subject, let me please shortly introduce my organization. So, DVB is a not-for-profit association located in Switzerland. We started in 1993, and our mandate was and is to create the standards for digital television. We started in Europe, but by now, or very soon, more than 50% of our members come outside of Europe, and basically our standards have a global reach. What we try to do, we try to bring together all the relevant stakeholder groups of the broadcast industry. So our members are broadcasters, network operators, manufacturers, and of course also regulators. And by bringing all the relevant stakeholders together, we can make standards which are successful and fit for the market. And our standards typically cover the broadcast television, so we do the digital specification for satellite, cable, terrestrial, and IPTV. Despite the fact that we are a small, not-for-profit organization, we have been very successful. So I'm very proud to tell you that in these last 22, 23 years, we have sold more than 1.2 billion devices on a global basis, which means that basically 2/3 of all digital receivers follow our specifications. As I mentioned before, our presence is truly global. So when I look at our satellite specification, our DVB-S and DVB-S2 are used in every country on this world, and this also excludes, for example, North Korea. North Korea is using our standard for transmission of their broadcast television. When we look at the terrestrial world, the situation is a little bit more fragmented because there are also other organizations like ATSC from America or ISDBT from Japan who are providing standards for digital terrestrial. But I'm proud to say that the majority of countries are following DVB-T or DVB-T2, and I'm especially proud that India is using all three of our standards. So if you watch digital television in India, be it via satellite, cable or terrestrial, you will watch it by using DVB technology. And personally, I think that's a very big success, and that's also a good reason for me to be happy to be here and to be proud to be invited. So coming back to the question about the end of television. So first of all, there are new services, and we all know them. Netflix, I think, just recently announced that it will be also available in India, and I think there must be a wide range of users in India who is accessing YouTube videos. And let's start with YouTube. So YouTube offers a statistic on its website, and from the statistic you can learn that there are 1 billion YouTube users and that every month 6 billion hours are watched of YouTube content. This sounds very impressive, but when you dig a little bit deeper and you just do an easy calculation, it basically means that every YouTube user is watching 12 minutes of YouTube content a day. And you have to compare this with the typical broadcast TV viewing times, and I present here the number from Europe. So you have to compare the 12 minutes to 3 to 4 hours a day. So yes, YouTube is relevant, but it's by far no competition to broadcast television. Nevertheless, we have some, I call it YouTube stars, and I gave here the example of a German YouTube star. Her name is Bibi, and she is giving cosmetic advices to young girls via YouTube, and she has a follower of 2 million, and her views get 1 million participants. So she is quite successful. Young lady, 16 years old. And then there is Netflix. The CEO of Netflix is called Reed Hastings. He is my special friend because he was predicting that broadcast will be gone by 2030. Of course, I don't like these kind of statements. So my answer to Mr. Hastings is, most probably nobody will know who Netflix was by 2030, but everybody will still use broadcast for information and entertainment. Nevertheless, I have to give Netflix some credit. they have a nice service. They have a high growth rate of customers. So typically the growth rate is 20 to 25% every year. And they have a monthly consumption of 2 billion viewing hours, which is roughly about 1 hour per day per user. But when you look at the absolute number, and you see here that by the end of 2014 it was 63 million, so I assume now it must be around 70 million. 70 million Netflix users, but you have to compare this to 1 billion TV households. So yes, Netflix is a successful service, but again, when you compare it to the volume, to the size of classical broadcast television, it's a very small service. So if we compare these services with TV viewing, when I look at the numbers in Europe, we are close to 4 hours a day of television consumption per user. And this number is not going down. When you look at the statistics on the right, you will see that the average time is slightly increasing in Europe, which means the new services are there, but they don't take away viewing time from the classical broadcast. Basically, the new services are on top of the classical broadcast. So I think that's a very relevant statistics, and we should always keep in mind that broadcast is still and will remain popular. Another interesting aspect is to look at the revenues. Let's see where the money goes or where the money comes from. And here you see in this diagram, you see the 2013 film and TV revenues for Europe in billions of dollars. And basically the majority of the revenues in the entertainment comes from classical broadcast. The next layer is cinemas. So cinemas is about 8.1. Then comes physical media like DVDs or Blu-ray discs, which is 5.8. And finally, with 3%, we have the online services, the YouTube, Netflix, Amazon, and so on of this world. And I think these statistics very clearly show that TV is not only popular, it's also a very healthy business. So what shall the broadcaster do? The broadcaster shall not see these new services as a threat. The broadcaster shall see these new services as an opportunity and embrace these new services. I mean, as a broadcaster, you are sitting on a big treasure box, which is your content. And you should make your content available with these new possibilities. And DVB, my organization, in cooperation with HBB TV, will provide or is providing the necessary technology to do so. So from a technology point of view, we are here to help you. So it's up to you to open up your archives, to make your content available and make a good business and a good service for the public out of this. So coming to the new devices. And the question is, there are now all these new devices out, which are a competition to the classical TV screen, and how can you bring the content to these new devices? First of all, one positive news. Despite all these devices which are out there, the TV set remains by far the most prominent device, and this is shown here in this diagram on the right. On the x-axis, you see the time spent in front of the device, and basically it's the already mentioned 4 hours a day which people spend in front of the television. On the y-axis, you see the reach, so how many households are reached by this device. And typically in Europe, television reaches 100% of all households. So television, most of the time is spent in front of the television, and television reaches every household. when you compare this to other devices like laptops, desktops, smartphones, game consoles, or tablets, the number is much smaller. People spend much less time in front of these devices, and also the reach of these devices is much smaller. So by far, the television set is the most prominent device to watch television in the home. Another interesting question I would like to answer is, where do we use these mobile devices? And the interesting conclusion is that they are predominantly used in the home. Of course, we use our television in the home, mostly, but also smartphone and tablets are used more than 50% in the home and not outside of the home. And when we use our devices, which network do we use to get content on our devices? And here it's very clear, we do not use the mobile broadband network, which is very right color in red on this diagram. We predominantly use Wi-Fi for accessing these devices, and at least I know the tariffs of mobile phone operators in Germany and in Europe. It would be way too expensive to watch a movie via the mobile broadband infrastructure, and it's much more cost efficient and easier for the end user to use Wi-Fi to get content on the mobile device. So taking this into account, basically we need a solution to bring broadcast content in the home over the Wi-Fi infrastructure to the mobile device. And there are solutions for this in place, and one of the solutions is called SAT-IP. It's a European Senelec standard for this technology available. And basically you receive your broadcast signal, you put the signal on an IP infrastructure with Ethernet and Wi-Fi, and you can reach then all your devices in the home with this infrastructure. And of course, we also have a solution when you are outside of the home, when you're on the go, when you're mobile. And our terrestrial standard DVB-T2 and its profile DVB-T2 Lite was designed for mobile reception from the beginning. So we have very good technologies in place for mobile reception. The industry is providing the necessary solutions for receiving these signals. So I have here a picture of the latest generation of a Sony receive chipset. And this chipset has, on the one side, a very low power consumption, which is important for battery-powered devices. And it also has a very high sensitivity, which you need because a mobile channel is a quite difficult channel to receive. So, now back to the question, are we at the end of television or not? And this brings me to my conclusion. So, my first statement, I have derived it from a quote from Mr. Mark Twain. And I say, any statements about the end of TV are premature and not proven by market figures. So you will read many articles about the end of television, but put these articles into perspectives and remember the numbers I have shown, and you will see that we are far away from the end of television. Broadcast TV is and will remain the dominant platform for information and entertainment. New content formats come up, but the broadcast industry should not see these new formats as a threat. This is an opportunity for us, which we have to embrace, and broadcasters should investigate and offer similar or even better services. And we are here to help you. We will provide you with the necessary technology to do this. So we give you the technology. You must have the content and the business idea and the service. Sorry. Second conclusion, the TV set, the device, is and will remain the most popular platform for watching video content. Tablets and smartphones gain in popularity and also must be supported by broadcasters in the future. With our standard DVB T2 and T2 Lite, we already address the technical possibility to reach mobile devices. And we will also identify the necessary solution to bring content over a Wi-Fi infrastructure to portable and mobile devices. So, television, the TV industry, the broadcasting is not the end of its life. We are a thriving industry. We provide a relevant and necessary service to the general public, and I'm personally, and I think you all here in this room, are proud that we are the enabler of this service to the general public, and I see a bright future for our industry because innovation is still ongoing and we will come up with new elements. And just at the very end, a short outlook on what to come next. So innovation will continue. We are working on ultra high definition, which gives you more pixels. We work on high dynamic range and more color, a wider color space. This gives you the better pixels. We work on higher frame rates, smoother flow of the pictures. So this gives you the faster pixels. And finally, we work on immersive audio, which gives you the hi-fi pixels. So there's a lot of new technology going on. Basically, we are working now together with others on a second generation of TV technology. And I hope that in 1 year from now, BES invites me again and I can tell you more about this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Peter Sebert. Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm applause for Dr. Peter Sebert for delivering his keynote address. Thank you very much. And my apologies for interrupting you in the middle. I have a very, very humble request to everybody. Please, if we can just be a little quiet and silent right at the back, because, you all will kind of struggle to hear what he has to say, and indeed what he says is of full substance and, of course, of very relevance. So this is my humble request कि आप सब लोग please एक तो अपने मोबाइल फोन वाइब्रेशन पे कर दें या स्विच ऑफ कर दें, एंड जो आप लोग बैठे हैं, जो पीछे हैं, जो खड़े हैं, जो बैठ नहीं पाए हैं, please kindly let's keep a little calm and silence there so that we all can actually hear what the our esteemed panelists have to say. Thank you very much once again. Thank you very much, and apologies for the interruption. Moving on now, I will now request Shri Jawahar Sarkar, CEO Prasar Bharati, to kindly come and share his views on this occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Shri Jawahar Sarkar.
Honorable Minister, Chairman, Special Secretary, senior officers here and friends. This is my fourth time I am addressing this Makkah, this Kumbh Mela of broadcasting engineers. And I don't think you would like to see me for a fifth time, nor would I come even though I have my tenure till the end of February, because one would not like to pursue the same subject again and again. 4 years ago when I addressed you, I was doing so on the basis of certain inputs that any intelligent person can pick up. I'm from the subject of anthropology and history, but it's not rocket science to pick up what's essential. and had made a plea. First of all, let me thank you for your kindness, because I know there are people here who do not like the way I put these statements, but I'm sorry, as a public servant, I have my duties, and I have very preconceived notions of what my duties are. In the first year, I had challenged the mindless growth of terrestrial transmission, analog terrestrial transmission. I remain more committed to it than ever before. That's my first thing. So it gave a rude shock to those who had grown up in the environment of endless expansion of analog terrestrial transmission, who had held people like Jolly to be the role model, one transmitter a day. Because my submission was that after India opened up to the world, and positively by 2002, you knew which way the cookie was crumbling. And when satellite took over, the absolute insistence on going on analog terrestrial TV was either Zid or the mindlessness of Prasar Bharati, supported ably by the robotic responses of colleagues elsewhere. We spent so much money, I was calculating around 800 crores in the last 2 years on this expansion, but let me not take that to be the main item of my speech or talk. Mathurji, you will be taking over as Secretary to the Government of India, and you've already got much of your honors. But let me tell you, as an old man who's completing his 8th year, unfortunately, in that rank, though of course discounted now, that we have responsibilities beyond signing notes prepared by deputy secretaries. There are responsibilities to reach out, and I'm sure you'll be able to do it in your new domain. Why I bring these things is, I'll get to the context. When we talk of analog terrestrial, I would not hammer the point, but as a citizen of India, you and I are entitled to ask the question, why was technology funds put into an area that is sinking Prasar Bharati today? Prasar Bharati's earnings have come down drastically, I think by 35% in 1 year, because terrestrial viewership has come down to a small number. From the first year itself, when Mr. Bhatnagar was here, I used to visit Mr. R.K. Jain was here as Chief Engineer-in-Chief, we spoke about it, but no one could stop the horse. They said the horse is on it, the train is on its journey, so let it continue. Plan after plan, we fool ourselves, we reinforce past mistakes and went on the journey. At that time, one of our ill-informed DGs mentioned that it was around 20 million. My market test was 12 million. There are ways. You have to go to You have to go to sailors' bars to find out what is the real truth. From 5 million you've come down. Along with that has slashed down earnings, viewership, everything of Doordarshan. No amount of exciting content can really make up right now, but we will, thanks to our minister, both our ministers, we have a policy on content which I hope will take about 2 to 3 months, and we will make a turnaround in spite of the constriction, in spite of the letdown on technological transmission to the last door. In fact, again as a citizen, I would question the arrogance of people who think that by extending analog terrestrial, you are actually chaining India's poor to watching only 2 television channels, DD News and DD Doordarshan National. Who has given the authority to anyone to imprison people to see 2 channels? On the other hand, the same group of engineers have done a splendid job by expanding Dish, whereby from the very limited number who are watching terrestrial, who will come down to minuscule numbers, we are now a platform that reaches 65 channels, our own engineers, through free Dish, to at least 20 million people of India. Look at the numbers, 7 million and 20 billion. That is a press of a button, and it is the installation of towers, installation of equipment, led by vendors. I repeat, led by vendors. Many of them may be here. Now, moving on. Now, we have, of course, largely reutilized the resources, but then I find Mr. Ziebert's presentation to be very encouraging. In fact, it is too comforting. I'll have a dialogue with you later. The sum and substance of what he said was that broadcast engineering is here to stay. Nobody's challenging that. Nobody's challenging that. We are saying how long. That's fact one. And how attractive. Fact two. Many of us were aware of the fact that after analog terrestrial came satellite, which I mentioned, and went on capturing the world. And from the satellite, one digital path or multiple digital paths would rule. And when digital transmission rules, what becomes the role of the infrastructure providers? Let us take a good look at what is our challenge today. Our challenge right now is OTT. Now, OTT has been around for about 7 years, 8 years. In fact, longer. YouTube was the most successful OTT. If I put it the other way around, the first search engine was an OTT. The search engine, whether it be Google or Yahoo, that's an OTT. That's technically an OTT. So we are used to the world of OTTs, over-the-top transmitters or over-the-top technologies who aggregate the airwaves, the infrastructure created by TSPs, that is infrastructure telecom service providers, ride free on them, and reach the customer smartly. That's a short point of OTT. WhatsApp is an OTT, Viber is an OTT. Now, Mr. Ziebert mentioned about the success of, limited success of YouTube, limited success of other OTT methods. I'm not getting into that. It's here today, you're finished tomorrow. This is a dog-eat-dog world. This is a highly competitive world. YouTube may not last beyond a few years if there's some other technology that comes in. What we are bothered about is what may happen. I've been personally bothered about the right choice of technology because I lost one of my school friends who had invested all his money into pager at a time when cellular was knocking. He put all his money. He explained to me passionately for 3 years and he committed suicide. Now, the world is very cruel to losers and very generous to victors. Very generous to victors. Cellular did not make economic sense. Cell phones did not make economic sense to those who know pages as a communication. But cellular won through perfect marketing and adroit technology. In fact, they tried so many marketing, that's a case study in business. Coming to the problem, coming to the issues that we are confronted now. First, 4G is here. 4G is here. And 1 lakh crore has been put in by a big company into 4G. How does it affect me? How does it affect me? It affects you terribly, tremendously. Because once 4G is available, a 16-lane highway is available for a small toll tax. OTT players would be jumping into it. And those who want to come in the legal way would also pay the toll tax and come in. That means OTT's importance, transmitting through the superior TSP, becomes a necessity for surviving in the business. So if they are going to get content and put it into my mobile, what role do I have? Next question. What role do I have? Now let's get the figures correct. We have about 120 million smartphones. Take or give another 10 million because we have gray area smartphones also. 120 million smartphone means this is the determining market of India. In addition to that, we have the whole database of 170-75 million TV households. Multiply that by at least 3, not 5, and you'll know how many people are actually watching TV, because there are multiple TVs in single homes. Taken these two databases, you'll find its relation is about 1:4, 1:5. 1:4 has a capability of watching it on the smartphone. 3 out of 4 do not have the capability. Look at the way mobiles expanded in India. Mobile has been the most disruptive and the unifying technological factor while we went on putting tower after tower, while we went on extending medium wave and short wave. It went over our heads. It jumped in from Gokul to get guns where it mattered. Now, OTT has succeeded in spasmodic, episodic degrees so far until market organizers like Netflix have come in. As I stand before you, Netflix has 42 million households in subscription in the US and about 22 million here. This started 3 years ago. Their experiment started in 2007, and this exponential growth has taken place only 3 years. They depend upon a library, they depend on economies of scale, millions and thousands of materials, content hours available to them. In India, Mr. Singh was telling me that they have very little. But if that model goes on, it's like Amazon versus Flipkart. You are out. The bookseller is out. That's it. Now, talking of OTT, Mr. Zibert also mentioned that that broadcast engineers must also come up with their own solution. First of all, my submission is I have not seen the orthodox broadcast engineering community coming up with solutions. Pardon my putting it. You know what I'm talking about. But outside fringe players have come up with some solutions. There are very bright elements I know because I keep getting mails from them who have come out with solutions because the choice is very clear. They understand that they may not be able to retain their jobs. After all, remember, MTNL, the telecom sector, lost out in technology. Today, against 15 million or 20 million landline owners, we have 1 billion plus mobile owners, or mobile subscribers. So what is the need for continuing? Government in its wisdom declared it surplus. So if we do not have a utility, that is my prayer to you, if you do not continue to rethink, challenge your own thoughts, stop in your own tracks, revise the plans that come in or plan funding that come in, we'll only be reinforcing archaism. Now, the choice now is how to reach the customer on the go. All of us who have smartphones in this room know that we are watching smartphone much more than we are watching TV unless you are bunking office at 5:30. You know very well. You have what is called the urban hours of traveling. You have a lot of urban lifestyle built-in stuff, urban, suburban. And this 120 million, if it clicks in the urban and semi-urban belt, will spread to the remaining 300 million, 400 million in no time. India's jugaad technology of coming down and crashing prices is well known. And that is why DRM looks upon us as the guinea pig. Ruxandra must be around. So they look upon us as the case example. Now, my submission is that transmission would reach, content transmission would reach the smartphones as the first level, the policymakers and others, because people are on the go. Gentlemen and ladies, television will not disappear so fast. As I was saying, our narrow gauge has also not disappeared so fast. We still have them. We still have the Darjeeling toy train. It's not like that. It's a question of its relative utility. When people are always on the move and always watching the handset, then television will be a luxury on a Sunday that they are in their hometown, and the PC, the personal computer, which was rage in my age, will also become a luxury where you can see on big font and can sit without craning your back. It's a Sunday pastime. Throughout the rest of the week, you're working on tuck, either on the tablet or on the other mobile instruments. If we take this writing on the wall, my humble, of course, I'll talk it out with Mr. Zibert later. DVB T2 is perhaps our answer. But I'm used the word perhaps, having gone through it for such a long time. Mr. Zibert, I've been watching you through 4 Amsterdams. 4. The fact that I have never been allowed to go to Amsterdam is beside the point. But that's beside the point. I've been watching all the technologies on show in Amsterdam, and I'm waiting for your LTE. You say it's coming. Now, why I need it, why we need it, I'll explain. The original planning, supported, confirmed by CEO Prasar Bharati and whoever else, is that DTT, that means the digitization of the terrestrial transmitter, will be a very beautiful instrument for reaching the customer. Okay? But the original plan was ipso facto wrong. I'll tell you why. The plan is that once you remove, once you remove the analog antenna and you put in a digital antenna, you get 8 to 10 television channels. So all over India, you started removing digital antennas, the analog antennas, started putting 10. It's only in Bombay, Mumbai, Delhi, Calcutta, and Chennai that we have 2. So 2 antennas, which means it gives me 20 TV channels. Do you think a person will subscribe 2,000 rupees to a set-top box to watch 10 channels? Think about it. Think about it, how these things are passed. 10 channels, will any subscriber in India ever watched fixed TV, that is linear TV, home TV, office TV, for 10 channels, even if it comes a digital route or through Angel Gabriel? Nobody will watch it. So the planning ipso facto was wrong. Now, there is a turnaround. I am glad that my ministry has supporting me in this turnaround business, but it took about 2 to 3 years to explain these things, because nobody is willing to come across and learn, and I'm too old to go and explain to everyone. Now, having said that, 2 is the solution. 2 means 20 channels. Now, for more than a year, 20 channels are being transmitted by Prasar Bharati, Doordarshan from these 4 metro cities. Where are the transmissions going? Disappear. Just disappear. No users. For 2 years plus, Prasar Bharati has been trying to get an ecosystem prepared for receptors, for putting dongles in. For 2 years, and I now stand before you to say, I am giving up. हमारे सरकारी से नहीं बनेंगे. Sorry, it can't come out here. I have asked Mr. Singh, the only person who understands technology but is not willing to take it up, that he must take it up because he's the only person who understands it. Take it up and move it forward to see that we get an ecosystem prepared, the dongles come in, and the mobile set is reached even before DVB T2 comes up with its official mobile version. I know it is possible. We have seen the demonstration, and maybe we'll go a little ahead. We have, because DVB T2 linear or home TV is not viable. Do not go in for another viable. Who's going to watch 10? Ask me. Who's going to watch 10 channels on his TV and pay 2,500 rupees, even if it comes free? Because 2,500, 3,000 rupees is the cost of a set-top box. How many set-top box will you have in your house? It's not possible. So what is possible? Forget the set-top box, put in a dongle until the chip-enabled ones comes and watch it on your TV. So you are direct competition to Reliance's 4G. You are direct competition to the OTT players like Netflix. Are you up to it? Are you up to it? You have such a large assembly of broadcast engineers. Today I'm posing this question. I'm not asking for an answer. You see, conflict and chaos is the beginning of growth. So never shy away from conflict. I'll give one small example of how conflict ultimately leads to cooperation. This is a story about just after the American Civil War. This is written by Jules Verne. It's called From the Earth to the Moon. Colonel Barbican had his usual rivalry with the Philadelphia Regiment. And the gentleman on the other side was, I think, Major Phillip. They used to meet at the Gun Club of Baltimore every week. And at every week, after arguments, they would go in for demonstrations once every year. What was the argument? One was a metallurgist who was trying to bring in a shell-resistant metal. And the other was a gunner who was aiming to crack every metal shield. Get it? And everyone knows this is the first ever science fiction about the moon being conceived 150 years before the first moon landing was made, more than 100. That's Jules Verne. So they went on, and every time, every month, every few months, the shell was arranged, the gun was arranged, the new shell was put in, and everybody watched at the golf patch that the new armor plate was put in to see which one wins. Once at a time, he dented the armor. The other time, the other fellow won. And this competition went on until a Frenchman suggested, why don't you two get together? And what was produced? Produced was the most superior metallurgical creation called a rocket that could defy every disturbance of the universe and every heat generating properties. And the gunner's capability to blast off was used as the takeoff point. And they went to the moon and came back. With these words, I will leave you with some disturbing thoughts, because I want this tremendous reservoir of technical knowledge to think a little beyond the arithmetical and go in for geometrical leaps. We cannot go on in this fast-moving world on less than geometrical or disturb geometrical progression. That is Muhammad. I don't gain anything by asking you, because as I said, this is my 4th year. If India's public broadcaster is to survive the 4G and the OTT world, there is only one way, that the entire broadcast community, of which it is a core, starts thinking, does not wait for DVB T2 to come up with its light version, LT version, moves along with light, moves along with our Jugaad technology to the extent possible, we'll be 5 kilometers short. We'll be getting blocked at a few multi-storied houses, but we'll be there. We'll be there. And if we are not there, you miss the bus. You become pagers. That's it. Thank you very much, and thank you for the patience.
Thank you. Thank you, Shri Jawahar Sarkar. That was CEO of Prasar Bharati. Thank you very much for addressing the audience. Moving on with the proceeding of the ceremony, I will now invite Dr. A. Surya Prakash and request him to facilitate the release of the exhibitors directory. Thank you, Dr. A. Surya Prakash, for releasing the exhibitors directory. Thank you very much. And now, if I may request Dr. A. Surya Prakash to come and share his thoughts with us on this occasion.
In a glass. Is there a light here? Honorable Minister Mr. Rajyavardhan Singh Rathod, Mr. Mathur, Mr. Peter Siebert, Shri Jawahar Sarkar, Mr. O.K. Sharma, Mr. P.K. Singh, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. India is on the cusp of a digital wave, and the BES EXPO is the right platform to explore the vast possibilities that are in front of us. It is indeed the new age of digital broadcasting, with multiple platforms and screens offered to viewers. These platforms are no longer linear and static. They are mobile, and you can watch them at your leisure. We are moving fast from the traditional TV set to consuming content on phones, laptops, iPads, and so on. As for new ideas and discoveries, witness the rise of the AIB roast on YouTube first, before being hosted as a comedy show on a conventional TV channel. News in Shorts, rebranded as In Shorts, is one of the latest in the news genre. It aggregates news in 60 words per story. We need to look at content for the new age media consumer who is coming with, who's consuming media content through new devices. And indeed, if you're happy, you're happy. Happy on app seems to be the new motto of the new generation. A third example is a new digital-only platform where you can see all the app-enabled content on your phone. Nearer home, talking about Prasar Bharati. Prasar Bharati has just launched Ragam. It's a round-the-clock channel exclusively dedicated to classical music. It is a treasure trove of music for Hindustani and Carnatic music lovers. The channel is available worldwide on DTH and as an app. Also, our mobile app, AAR Live, has offered easy access to AAR services to people all over the world. So, as the future of digital media consumption is driven by smartphone adoption, smartphone penetration in India is expected to grow to about 520 million by 2020, according to a recent Ernst & Young report. So by 2020, of the 650 million internet users in India, 50 to 55% are expected to be from the rural areas. This will be up from 33% in 2013. So the consumers are across the demographic spectrum, and as a public broadcaster, Prasar Bharati is aware of the new media consumer and is determined to fulfill its core responsibilities that has been given to it by Parliament in the new environment. So, even as broadcast TV remains a strong platform for content and revenue generation, Doordarshan and All India Radio are getting ready for the electronic superhighway game and building scales in business. So I hope you too are ready for this. Let us run the marathon to catch the new generation together. My very best wishes for the conference and for the BES Expo 2016. Jai Hind.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Dr. A. Suryaprakash, Chairman Prasar Bharati. Thank you very much, sir, for interesting and sharing your thoughts on this occasion. Moving on with the proceedings of the ceremony, I would now request and invite Shri J.S. Mathur, Special Secretary, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, to release the conference proceedings. This now marks the release of the conference proceedings. And now, if I may humbly request Shri J.S. Mathur, Special Secretary, Ministry of Information Broadcasting, to share his thoughts with us on this occasion.
Honorable Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting, Shri Rathorji, Chairman Prasar Bharati, CEO Prasar Bharati, Mr. Zebert, Mr. O.K. Sharma, Mr. P.K. Singh, all our colleagues and friends who have gathered out here. It's actually, I think, a tremendous privilege that an event like this has been happening in Delhi for the broadcasting industry. And from what I've been told, I think this event has been on for the last more than a decade and a half. For various technologies from around the world to be brought to our own country, where the entire industry has the opportunity to look at them, understand them, and select to take India forward in this particular direction. I think this has been an opportunity that has been utilized by a whole lot of the broadcasting industry in India. In fact, the last 10-15 years have seen a tremendous growth in the broadcasting industry in the private sector in India. The public broadcaster itself has expanded quite substantially. And the effect of the various latest technologies that have come to India are apparent in this scenario as we have all been watching around. For Prasar Bharati, I think it has actually been a tremendous thing that it has the advantage that BES is the organizer of this event, and it has got excellent officers and excellent team that brings all these technologies to the country. Maybe, I think now probably is also the time when, apart from watching, looking and understanding at the technologies and speaking about them, or maybe probably also debating about them, I think words are translated into action so that it also can probably move ahead with the latest technologies. I would be very, very happy to learn. In fact, I would like to get a feedback from the organizers this time as to how much of the rest of the broadcasting industry in India has come to this expo, because now that it has been rated as one of the top 5 expos, I'm very sure the entire broadcasting industry in India always looks forward to this event also to gain and update their systems and their knowledge. Since most of the discussion this morning has, however, been for Prasar Bharati, I would urge them also. I think it's actually a high time that the organizers of this event, Prasar Bharati itself, also probably finally makes up its mind. I think it's been exposed to these technologies for so many years. As far as I know, the broadcasting technologies have in fact shown a tremendous resurgence, not just a resurgence, but a lot of advancement in the last 5 years in particular. A lot of things have been happening which one has been exposed to, and and I'm very sure they've all been brought to this event here. This particular year, I think now I would urge upon Prasar Bharati to finally make up its mind, having been exposed to all these for such a long time, and see as to in which direction it can also go. We've got a lot of examples. I mean, they've not just been coming to this expo, but the rest of the industry in India has also been adopting these. So I think there's no dearth of experience with various technologies. Maybe many of them have come for the first time this year, but they can be really helpful to Prasar Bharati to finally take a call and move ahead. In fact, the next 5-year plan is just a year ahead of us. In the previous 5-year plan, our government broadcaster could finally decide upon its priorities and get it through with only 2 years of the plan remaining. This is a year where I would also want it to finalize its plan, its technologies at the earliest, so that they can have the advantage of the entire next 5-year plan period to also implement upon that. I would compliment the organizers once again, and all of you who have come from far and wide, to also see as to how in the broadcasting sector we can take India forward, and why merely probably exhibit technologies that are here. I'm very sure many of you would also be capable and interested in developing technologies and setting up industry for the technologies here. Why not a Make in India program? That is again something which I would like all of you to ponder upon. I think we are hopefully running overtime, so I would finish off here. But my best compliments to the organizers, to all of you, and for the success of this expo. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shri J.S. Mathur, Special Secretary, Minister of Information and Broadcasting. Before we move ahead to yet another important aspect of the ceremony, may I again make a humble request and a very polite reminder that can we all be a little silent, and I mean gentlemen and ladies sitting right at the back, not specifically pointing out to someone in particular, and also switching off the mobile phones or putting them on vibrating mode. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, as we are aware that Broadcast Engineering Society endorses the ideology of innovation and fosters a professional climate within the fraternity by propelling a pragmatic view of dissemination of knowledge and practices. Through its prestigious BES Awards, the Society not only acknowledges the exemplary efforts made, but also prides in forefronting them on the global pedestal. These awards have been finalized by the expert jury under the chairmanship of N. Tyagarajan, ADG. Therefore, let me now request our Honorable Minister, our very esteemed Chief Guest, Colonel Rajyavardhan Singh Rathore, to confer the recipients of the eminent decoration of BES Award for 2006. To start with, Venkateshwaralu Nuri Award for Outstanding Trainer in Broadcast Engineering. May I please request and invite the recipient, Shri Surinder Singh, Director, NABM, Delhi, to please come and receive the award. And if we all can applaud, and if you can join me in congratulating him. A hearty congratulations to Shri Surinder Singh for receiving Venkateshwaralu Nuri Award for Outstanding Trainer in Broadcasting Engineering for his outstanding efforts made in training. Congratulations, sir. Moving on to the next award, Dr. Vasumal Hazarimal Mirani Award for Best Technical Innovative Work in the field of digital technology related to broadcasting. May I request Shri N. Nandakumar Singh, DDE, PPC, Doordarshan, Guwahati, to kindly come and receive his award for developing in-house slow motion server. Very congratulations, sir. Can we have a round of applause as a form of congratulations? Congratulations. For Mukul N. Trivedi Award for the Best Technical Innovation in the Engineering field of All India Radio and Doordarshan, may I request the recipient Shri Amrit Pal Singh DDE for Doordarshan Kendra Jalandhar to kindly come and receive his award and accept his award for assembling of a 500-watt VHF TV transmitter as standby system for BEL Mark III HPT. Congratulations, sir. Congratulations very much. For Padmavati Ganeshan Award for Outstanding Work in Broadcasting, may I request Shri Satyapal, ADE, ADG, to kindly come and receive his award for judicious reconditioning of convoluted defects in RF combiner and duplexer in high-power TV transmitter. Ladies and gentlemen, it fills me with immense pride to announce that this year Broadcast Engineering Society facilitates two special award categories. Man Ki Baat is the first ever multi-platform broadcast of and broadcast by the elected to the electors. This broadcast is delivered in a manner that reaches All India Radio's domestic audience as well as the global audience through easy access system of popular official mobile app of All India Radio. Now, this interactive broadcast elicits instant response in India and abroad via telephone, internet, and also via postal correspondence. This program is supplemented by an effective feedback and analysis broadcast under the caption Postbox number 111. Ladies and gentlemen, it is also a great achievement by All India Radio now. Standard mobile application for All India Radio services. All India Radio Live makes AIR accessible through all modes via iOS, Android, and Windows in the entire world. So without any further ado, may I now request the Director General and Engineer-in-Chief, All India Radio, to come and please accept the award on behalf of the AIR team. Moving to the second special category, may I now request the Director General and the Engineer-in-Chief for Doordarshan to accept the award on behalf of DD India for impactful coverage of Republic Day Parade, Independence Day, International Yoga Day, and Ekta Divas. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Director General and Engineer-in-Chief for Doordarshan to come and accept the award on behalf of the entire DD India team. Moving on to the most awaited award for this year, Lifetime Achievement Award. May I request Mr. M.S.H. Beg, former Chief Engineer, for his outstanding contribution in the field of broadcasting. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating Mr. M.S.H. Beg, former Chief Engineer, for his outstanding contribution. Shri M.S.H. Beg is an Indian Broadcasting Engineering Services Officer of 71 batch. He started his career at All India Radio Cuttack. He had served All India Radio and Doordarshan in various capacities at many stations and in the zonal headquarters in Kolkata and Mumbai. He was responsible for the rapid expansion of All India Radio in the northeast and eastern parts of the country in the 90s during the 8th and 9th plan implementation. Later on, as Chief Engineer in the West Zone, he had a sterling career in both All India Radio and Doordarshan, holding charge of mainstream and projects in succession. Congratulations, sir, and thank you very much. Now, if I may request our chief guest to address the audience, and if I may request our audience member to kindly welcome our chief guest.
Let me start with dignitaries on the dais. Shri Surya Prakash ji, Chairman of the Prasar Bharati. He is transiting from being a journalist to being an administrator. Jawahar Sarkar Sahab, the CEO of Prasar Bharati. I think he's more of CIO. Chief Ideating Officer, comes up with ideas. Mr. J.S. Mathur, the Special Secretary in the Ministry of Information Broadcasting, but he's also a member in the board of Prasar Bharati. Perhaps not only to provide support from the ministry to Prasar Bharati, but also to remind the CEO, Veer Arjun, कर्म ही धर्म है, बाण उठाओ और आगे बढ़ो. Mr. Peter, it's very interesting listening to you. And when the introductions were being done by the MC here, and that perhaps is the most embarrassing part for me, you immediately got up to make a speech. I can understand because Germans are so very straightforward to the job. But we here in India have a lot of ceremonies to take care of. Mr. Sharma and Mr. P.K. Singh of the Broadcast Engineering Society, the bright minds here, innovative minds here, progressive, ladies and gentlemen, all those associated with Broadcasting Society in India, thank you so much for allowing me to come up here on the stage and get an opportunity to speak to all of you. I am just a consumer. I am a user. You are the ones who are producing content and the methods, the means for the content to reach to us. So I also thank you on behalf of all the users that use your technologies. It's very interesting when you go to occasions like this to make a speech. You actually get a written speech from here, what you have to read out. So I did go through that. And when I went through that, my attention was caught on a line which was very interesting, which said, amongst the job that the engineering society is doing, is bridging the gap between the educational institutions and the professional bodies. Very interesting. And that took me back to perhaps it's the same difference between If you go back in history, the people who invented radio, there are two prominent names there. Mr. Marconi and Tesla. Tesla was the man who came up with original ideas and proved them with mathematics and physically. But Mr. Marconi was the man who took up the basic ideas, converted into the practical ways of using it, and perhaps that's why his name is more famous than Tesla. And somewhere there, we also have an Indian, Mr. Jagdish Chandra Bose, who was, if not more, equally responsible for radio. And if we are associated with prehistory of radio and broadcasting, then I am certain that we will remain associated with the future of broadcasting. And that is where all of you come in. So my congratulations to Broadcasting Engineering Society to put up this mega show, exposition, where companies from across the world, people from across the globe come here, interact with each other, and give us all an opportunity to understand and learn from each other. They go beyond the boundaries set by mankind. And broadcasting, in any case, breaks that boundary on a daily basis. Sometimes the laws of the land are unable to keep pace with changing technology. Way back when radio started, and community radio was being extensively used by the world around, it was also being used in India. It was actually prohibited to use community radio in India. It was only somewhere in the 2002 that community radio was actually permitted in our country. And with the changing face of geopolitical environment and the awareness with the RTIs, with the transparency in governance, with the educated lot, with the informed lot, I think we have to keep pace with the technology. And so the laws must learn to keep pace with the changing technology. Every generation, most people in the generations feel this is it. This is the technology and it cannot get better. But there are always that small percentage of people who believe, who see the future and who believe there's more to come. And I gather under this roof today, we have that small percentage of people who believe that there's a lot more to come. I did travel, being in sports, I did travel around. And I remember in the last decade that I was traveling, we would go to some of the European countries and we would have an option of IPTV or the usual conventional television. And curiosity would always get the better of us to try and check what is IPTV. It used to be slow at that point of time. So we would switch back to the normal TV. But those people who thought of IPTV did not give up. They knew the future belongs to them and they kept at it. Similarly, I remember long ago somebody speak about Apple TV. And I bought an Apple TV. At first I thought an Apple TV that could fit into your pocket. Usually the TV word means a huge screen. And so I got myself an Apple TV, and it was revolutionary at that point of time to see YouTube videos and everything on the net on your television. As Mr. Peter was mentioning, he was giving his statistics. I was quite amused to see that television has 3 to 4 hours a day of viewing, and mobile has only about 12 minutes, or YouTube has about 12 minutes. I think of the 12 minutes that I watch, my mother makes up for the 3 or 4 hours of television. They're perpetually at home and seeing a whole lot of television. So I guess it matters as to who are you catering to? What segment are you catering to? And today, if we have a large amount of population that is static in offices or at home, so they are glued to the television. And there's a small percentage that is mobile, which is watching television on the mobile. But these will change very rapidly. My constituency is rural India. Jaipur rural is my Lok Sabha constituency. And it's so interesting when you go to any of the small towns and you ask people how many on WhatsApp and how many on Facebook you'll have most of the young people raise their hands. There's a small town called Kotputli. That's part of my constituency. It's a population of about 40,000. And I asked a mobile shop owner, how many mobiles do you sell in a day? 100. I said, how many smartphones in that? You won't believe it. 80 out of 100. It's a small town. So that is the future potential of all these various contents and platforms coming together on the mobile. And undoubtedly in Doordarshan, I feel very excited with the fact that we have the potential and we are moving in that direction, not only on the All India Radio, so on the radio side, but also on the television side. If we have these many towers that we've been able to put up in the last decades, we also have the opportunity of using these towers by putting up multiple transmitters there, by putting up digital transmitters there. And thereby we are talking now of DVB-T2, which is even more exciting, that can we provide direct television on an ordinary mobile and not just limit or stop at that. Can we also go ahead and provide internet via the broadband spectrum? So these are the possibilities. In FM, we've decided to put about 100 All India radio stations all around within 2016 and 17. We have an aim of FMizing the entire nation, so that's better quality radio available to each and everyone. And we have most of the people of Prasar Bharati sitting here. I don't think so you will have a better opportunity when you have the INB minister and the finance minister both as one person, so you don't have to really worry for funds. I was especially glad to know that students have access to your exposition here. With so many companies, with the latest technology available here, the touch and feel and the ability to see and understand and talk to some of these people are the best ways to ensure understanding of the subject and open the minds of each and every student. That is the way we will bridge this gap between the education institutions and the professional bodies. Like I said right at the beginning, the future is now, and literally under this roof in your hands. An idea will only be an idea if it's not spoken or discussed. But the idea, if broadcast, will become a revolution. So let's hope that you can revolutionize the nation, the world, come up with newer technologies, methods and means of the content reaching to the users, and finally, the users enjoying, educating themselves, and progressing with all of you the way you take this whole nation and the world forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Honourable Minister, for addressing us and sharing your thoughts and views with us. On behalf of the entire team of Broadcast Engineering Society, I would like to extend immense gratitude to the esteemed dignitaries and panelists for gracing the occasion and making it more valuable. And I will now request them all to accept a very small memento as a gesture of our appreciation and as a vote of thanks. And I will request our Honourable Minister, our esteemed Chief Guest, Colonel Rajyavardhan Singh Rathore, to facilitate the memento as a token of our appreciation and regards to our esteemed guest of honours. To begin with, if I may request the Honourable Minister to facilitate the memento to Shri J.S. Mathur, Special Secretary, Minister of Information and Broadcasting, and if I can request the members, audience members, to kind of join me in thanking him. Thank you very much, sir, for gracing this occasion and sharing your thoughts with us. May I again request, we're going to trouble you, sir. We're going to trouble you a little bit more. Now, if I may request, sir, to kind of facilitate the memento to Dr. A. Surya Prakash, Chairman, Prasar Bharati. Sir, please accept this memento as a token of our appreciation. May I now request Sri Jawahar Sarkar, CEO, Prasar Bharati, to please accept the memento as a token of our regard and appreciation. And if I can request the audience members to join me in thanking him as well. May I now invite our keynote speaker, Dr. Peter Siebert, Executive Director, DVB Project, to accept the memento as a token of thanks and appreciation. Thank you very much for gracing this occasion. And now may I request Sri O.K. Sharma, President, Broadcast Engineering Society, India, to present the memento to our Honorable Chief Guest, Colonel Rajavardhan Singh Rathore, Honorable Minister of Information Broadcasting, as a token of our appreciation. I once again request and invite our Honorary Secretary of thanks.
Thank you, Mokshika. Honorable Minister of State, Information and Broadcasting, Special Secretary Broadcasting, Sri J.S. Mathur Sahab, Chairman Prasar Bharati, Dr. A. Surya Prakash Sahab, CEO Prasar Bharati, Sri Jawahar Sarkar Sahab, Keynote Speaker, Mr. Peter Siebert, Executive Director, DVB Projects, the President of Broadcasting Society, Sri O.K. Sharma ji, distinguished guests, I feel privileged to take all these names in a vote of thanks. Mr. Rajiv Singh Sahab, Member of Finance, Prasar Bharati Board, Director General, All India Radio, Sri Fayaz Shahryar Sahab, Engineering Chief, All India Radio, Sri Animesh Chakravarti Sahab, Sri Chandrabhanu Singh Maurya, Engineering Chief, Doordarshan, senior members like Sri R.K. Gupta, Sri B.K. Dey, Sri Dr. V.K. Singh, Dr. H. Srivastava, Sri H.R. Singh, Sri R.R. Prasad, R.D. Mishra Sahab, P.S. Sundaram Sahab, Sri V.K. Singla ji, Shivraj Bajaj Sahab, R.K. Jain Sahab, and Mr. M.S.S. Boy Beg, the Lifetime Achievement Award winner for this year. All the delegates who have come from throughout the India, my colleagues and friends. First of all, my big thanks to our Honorable Minister, not only because, sir, this is a very casual line, we are thankful that he has devoted such a important, from his important time to us. It's really, I'm associated with some of my friends in the ministry, and I know our Honorable Minister, he works very late till at night. In fact, sometimes he drives to his home at his own. He comes early in the morning to the office, and whatever be the responsibility, like social, official, political, he gives full time. And for this event also, Honorable Minister was not having the time. It was been refused for that, but when it was been conveyed, he said this is for the first time. Then he agreed, he changed his plan. So thank you very much. our honorable minister, जैसा कि मतलब कुछ लोगों के साथ आशीर्वाद होता है, he is born, भारत माँ को सम्मान दिलाने के लिए उनका जन्म हुआ है. चाहे वो आर्मी में रहे हो, आर्मी में तो हम लोग जानते हैं कितना कि देश की सेवा के साथ सबसे बड़ी सेवा है. स्पोर्ट्स के क्षेत्र में कर्नल राठौर साहब ने कितना नाम ऊंचा किया हम सभी जानते हैं. और अब राजनीति में भी मतलब ही हैज डेवलप्ड कि पहली बार आप लोकसभा में इलेक्ट होकर के आए एंड फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम ही बिकेम द मिनिस्टर. दैट मीन्स अवर टॉप लीडरशिप नोज दैट हाउ कैपेबल ही इज. सर बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपको. और एक बात जरूर कहूंगा कि अभी तो अभी मुट्ठी भर जमीन नापी है आपने, आसमां को नापना तो अभी बाकी है. श्री J.S. Mathur Sahab, who has praised the society like anything. Sir, one thing on behalf of Broadcasting Society, I would like to request that this society is one of the largest society of broadcast professionals in the Asia Pacific, and we have very nice broadcast professionals throughout the India, even in the remotest place of the India. So whenever ministry, you are the policy maker, policy implementer, whenever ministry needs any type of help, any type of services of broadcasting in society, we can move ahead, sir. I am thankful to माथुर साहब एंड भाई मेरी तरफ से बहुत बहुत बड़ा धन्यवाद डॉक्टर एस सूर्यप्रकाश साहब को. इनफैक्ट ही हैज कम विद एन आइडिया and that idea is especially what I felt is content and services. And the latest example of that is the launching of Raga. Now radio is All India Radio can be listened 24 hours, and the music of all the 7 or 8 channels can be listened throughout the world 24 hours. Thank you very much, sir. Jawahar Sarkar Sahab. सर आई एम सॉरी सर, मैं समझ नहीं पाया कि आपने हमें अच्छा कहा या बुरा कहा. बट वट एवर यू टोल्ड अस इट वाज एक्सीलेंट. सत्य सर मीठा भी होता है, कड़वा भी होता है. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपके उन व्यूज को हमारे साथ शेयर करने के लिए. मिस्टर पीटर सीबर्ट ने जो वट एवर ही टोल्ड द इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ वीडियो सिग्नल्स नाउअडेज with a presentation of the statistical theories. Very nice, sir. Thank you very much. And thank you very much, our President, under whose leadership this Broadcasting Society is flourishing like anything. And friends, last but not the least, I am feeling very, very much privileged and happy that I am proposing a vote of thanks from that stage, which stage is being chaired by the highest authority of the broadcasting in India. And for making me this prize, you all are responsible for that. So very, very, very big thanks to all of you. My big thanks to Hotel Leela Ambience, my colleagues, our council members, delegates, friends who are working since a few days with us for the success of this event. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much. That was, ladies and gentlemen, Shri P.K. Singh, Honorary Secretary, Broadcast Engineering Society, India. Now, as the inaugural ceremony draws to its end, I will now invite the Honorable Chief Guest, our guest of honors, and the esteemed dignitaries to officiate the inauguration of the exhibition. I will request the audience members to kindly be seated as the esteemed panelists make their way.